Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Chris J. Now, as promised, I have already put out the second part of the confessions at the BHT Mansion after the intro. And so essentially what the videos are going to be, they're just going to provide context and just the in-betweens and provide an illustration of what's being written. It's not going to be anything crazy or over the top. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of the chapters, especially right up front, I wanted to just go ahead and put it out there, okay? Like, let's just go ahead and get it out there because I mean, honestly, the confessions at the BHT Mansion were inspired by the experiences that I had that brought me there in the first place, and just a couple of different things here and there, but ultimately creating awareness on the whole mental health issue, as we have talked about previously. And so I'm going to go ahead and read that and then just kind of give you a little background about how all of this got started. So, chapter 1, it just got real. Let me give you the tour, said Miss Charmaine. That was the second phase after intake of what I'm calling the BHT Mansion. BHT used to describe behavioral health therapy. This type of care refers to the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of conditions such as substance abuse, life stressors, crisis, trauma, and stress-related physical symptoms. You can find that definition at the American Medical Association in their article in 2022. This 8-bedroom, 10-bathroom mansion was set up differently than your average treatment facility. Not at all like the hospital or psych ward setting. It was a large mansion on much land with a basketball court, a lake, pool, hot tub, luxury rooms, luxury restrooms, walking trails, and 15 people living in the house. This does not include the medical specialist team in place to provide guidance and support for client-centered care using systematic approaches. The BHT Mansion once housing famous actor and Hollywood hunk Chris Pratt. It provided an unexplainable positive experience towards healing and recovery for us, those before us, and those who are yet to come after us. There was a lot of space and time to reflect and find productive ways of dealing with self-discovery, recovery, and mindfulness. The process of intake, vitals, and property search brought only one thought to mind. It just got real. The reality of what I had just experienced brought me to a place of vulnerability that I was not ready for. I did not want to face my demons, and they were already rearing their ugly heads on every corner of my head, my heart, and my mind. It would only be 6 days prior to that I was not eating, sleeping, I was self-medicating, and the attempt of suicide on my life. Since the end of 2022, I felt as though it was a slow spiral that took me to a place of defeat. Broken and toxic relationships, manipulation, abuse, and abandonment would be the triggered trauma that would float to the surface to the point of death. After the advice of family, I came to the harsh reality of what became truth over the lie that I believed for so long. I'm fine. I wasn't fine. I hadn't been for a long time. I've always tried to be the positive person for those around me, and I forgot to care for myself. Putting others before myself, people-pleasing, overworking, and my self-destruction put me in an unexplainable prison of persecution and mutilation. I have to tread carefully when I explore my journey from then to now. It is still a daily battle to choose forgiveness, positive vibes, and to move forward. Even now, as I look back, it is still unreal how I could get here. I ask myself, how could I let myself be so consumed by the desire for intimacy, for affection, for acceptance, and for affirmation, that I allowed my mind, spirit, and especially my body to be controlled, manipulated, and abused. What happened, you ask? There aren't sufficient words for what the last 6 months showed me about myself. I primarily learned how to hate myself, allow myself to be manipulated in thinking that everything is my fault, the need to please through walking on eggshells and never feeling good enough, ultimately. The discovery of how I got here can be described in just 3 words. I was deceived. So the BHT Mansion, quite literally a mansion. It was, just like I mentioned before, it was not a psych ward. It was not a hospital. I was not under 24-hour surveillance. That is not how this experience happened at all. It was just a simple retreat that I went on to this beautiful property and this beautiful mansion. And, no technology, no cell phones. There was a lot of time for self. self-reflection, self-mindfulness, self-love. And, it was really awesome because there was lots of land. So I like being outside, and I spent a lot of time outside, just having alone time for myself. And so the mansion was actually previously owned by Chris Pratt. And so me and some of the girls, we used to have this ongoing joke where we would go and we would go inside of the master bathroom, which, let me just tell you right now, that bathroom, humongous. The shower alone could hold like 10 people by itself. Like, it was ridiculous. And so we would go in the bathroom, or we would go inside of the master bedroom, and we would just like soak up Chris Pratt's energy. I mean, hey, he's a cutie, right? So we were just doing what we needed to do to pass the time. And so it was just a fun thing. A couple of different fun things that we used to do, always going down to the basement and having movie nights or karaoke nights, or, just really trying to make the experience. And we built a lot of friendships in the walls of this mansion. And so honestly, that was how the whole BHT Mansion Confessions came to be, because I already had my blog. I've had my blog for a couple years now. The YouTube channel, not so much. I think it's only been like a year or so. But I just lost my creativity to write, and I just lost my inspiration. And so we would have this ongoing joke also about, if the BHT Mansion was a reality show, we'd be making bank, because it was that good. Like, there were times, you would think after being at group all day and different kinds of groups, or dealing with your therapist, or dealing, with all of this, these parts of your recovery, that you would just want to come home and just chill. But it wasn't like that at all. Like, we often, very often, like on a daily basis, we would come home and there would be lots of intimate conversations that would happen within our daily routine. Like, sometimes it was like, oh, well, we couldn't talk about things in group because there were other people there that we didn't trust, or just you didn't find the words at that time, and you just kind of just stay idle. And then we would come home, and you're just sitting outside in the little pond garden trying to have your moment, and then all of a sudden you just bust out in tears, and then here comes so and so with life advice, and then we cry together, we laugh together, and we just keep it pushing, and we just keep it moving. And so it was a very interesting experience for me, and that was kind of what inspired the BHT Mansion Confessions, because I wanted to create awareness on mental health issues. Yeah, I came into contact with schizophrenia and bipolar and just a bunch of, a lot of the main mental health issues. But the experiences that I had prior to coming to the mansion also exposed me to different types of mental health issues that people don't recognize, or they don't point them out, or they really just don't accept them, because it's easier to point the finger at somebody like me who has self-harm, or the alcoholic who's drinking all the time, or the drug addict that's, getting high all the time. It's so easy to point the finger at all of them and all of us. But not so easy when you're a narcissist, when you're an abuser, when you're a manipulator, when you're a deceiver, when you're a liar, when you're a cheater, when you are passive aggressive. You can be the quietest, nicest person to everybody around, but then you get yourself in a relationship, and all you want to do is control the situation, and you think that you're mightier and higher than thou. And so the people, they want to have everybody under their feet, and it's a very interesting mindset that goes unseen and goes unrecognized, or even it's not accepted, because that's not a mental health issue. My friend, baby, yes it is. That is a mental health issue. When you are that insecure within yourself that you become narcissistic and abusive, yeah, you've got a mental health issue. Sorry, boo-boo, but that's the truth. And I wanted to create an awareness and just blow the whole thing up and say, guess what? These people who deal with this thing, yeah, they're like this, and they have much bigger hearts than some of the people who I've seen who have these more like unnoticeable mental health issues, and they've got education. You have no drug or no alcohol abuse. You may come from that, but you yourself don't have that going on. And you've got an education, and you've got a good job, and you've got a nice whip, and you cute, and you flossing, and you doing your thing. But you're still freaking psycho in the head, and you're still a manipulator, and you're still an abuser, and you are still insecure, and you are still hiding your insecurities through your looks, through your material things, through your job, through your education. People put up these masks, and I wanted to create awareness for those types of things, because I I feel for my brothers and sisters who may not have their inspiration, or they may not have the strength that I was blessed to find while I was off. And, some of my friends are still dealing with their things. And I'm tired of the finger being pointed at them or being pointed at us. Like, yeah, you're the one with the mental health issue. You're the one who needs to go and do this. And you're the one who needs to go that. And you're not good for my life. Huh? Hold up. Give me a moment to correct that mindset, because yes, there are issues that need to be addressed. Yes, there are things that need to be, healed, and people need to find their healing. But baby, you're not so different. I'm sorry to bring you down from your cloud, but you're not so different. And it really is heartbreaking, because it's like, those are the people that get trusted the most. Like, oh, well, it's hidden, so you open up your heart, you open up your mind, you open up your body, you trust these people, and then the minute that they start feeling triggered by you are the problem. You are the blame. This is all because of you. And so then they start pushing you away, and they start doing this. And the worst part about it is that when you have already decided that you're going to love someone, and you decided that you're going to be there for that person, it could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be in a relationship, those people easily recognize that you are baited and hooked, and there is not a single thing that they can do to push you away, especially if you have already vocalized this, which I'm somebody I would say I'm loyal to a fault. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because I have had some shady stuff happen to me, and I've still been there every step of the way, 110%. And you know what my reason is? Aside from childhood traumas and brokenness and all of that, because that's not an excuse. I'm not a victim. I make my own choices, and I am in my sound mind to make those choices. My thing is, and it's just as simple as this: I know what it's like not to be loved. I know what it's like to be abandoned and rejected. And I don't ever want to be that for someone else. Yeah, I'm a little mouthy if you haven't figured it out. So yeah, I'm going to tell you about yourself, especially if you're a friend or a loved one or somebody that I care about. I'm not going to let you self-destruct. So yeah, I'll tell you about yourself in a loving and kind way, but I'm also going to help you find the solutions if I myself haven't found them already. And so I'm that type of person. And I'm also the type of person who's like, I'm a cheerleader for your goals, and I will stand by you while you broke, while you rich. It doesn't matter. I'm that. But I'm also the type of person who is easily manipulated, and I hate that about myself, because I have to choose on which side of the spectrum do I want to be on, because there is a middle ground, and I try to be there most days. But I'm either going to be a biatch, or I'm going to be too soft. And so luckily I have found the middle ground in that, and so it's not as bad as it once was. But I'm still pretty soft-hearted, and I'm still pretty kind-hearted, and I know what it's like not to be loved, and I don't ever want that to be felt by me. Unfortunately, I am not perfect, and I cannot say that I have officially figured out how to do this. But what I can say is that I will never be like the manipulator or the deceiver or the liar. Things are never the way that they appear when you're dealing with kind-hearted people and people who are true to themselves. You will always find that with people who are not true to themselves and who have insecurities and who are dealing with their lives without dealing with their trauma. And unfortunately, there's not a thing that we can do about it to change that. But we can do, boo-boo. We can stick together, and we can love each other, and we can support each other, because you are not alone, my friends. Please be encouraged. I hope that you guys will stay tuned for the rest of the series. You can check out the blog at confessions.life. I will also put that information in the link below for you guys. Bye!